am working on my keezer. So this is my kegging system here. So obviously the taps right behind this wall is a very small room that I have my keezer sitting behind. The lines come directly out into this. Been working great for me. I think I've had this probably got to be 2 or 3 years now. My dad made these for me, and then I just bought this. This is actually PVC that I painted to make it look silver is going through. It's been great. Been real happy with everything so far. The only issue that I am dealing with, and if you're a person that's kegged, you probably run into this in the past. I've got a leak in my CO2 system, and I'm trying to track it down. I've not been able to. So I'll show you what I have. And I've decided I'm going to spend some money, upgrade the CO2 with the lines. I've been using beverage lines, probably cheap, and I shouldn't have done it in the first place. But when I was doing it, I was trying to save myself some money. I had 100 foot of beverage line. I built my own manifold, so I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Decided to go away from that. I'm going to have 2 manifolds I've actually purchased. I'm going to set it up a little bit differently. So I've not been able to find the leak. It's someplace in the system. I've used a spray bottle with Dawn in it and not been able to find it. And I've been tracking it down. I've gone through two 5-pound canisters of CO2, and I'm sick and tired of wasting the money on that. So I'm moving away from that and going into regular gas line, 2 manifolds, and I'm taking the beverage lines out. So hopefully deal with this, but I thought I'd take you guys along, see if you guys have had any issues with this in the past, if there's any thoughts, if I'm doing this the right way, or if you've got any thoughts on doing it better. And maybe it'll also help somebody moving forward when you're getting into this. So I'll kind of show you what I have, the setup I have, and then we'll kind of go into the system we have for the day. All right, guys, let's launch it. All right, so currently this is what I have. Built myself a little box on the wall there. So airline goes into the collar. And if you're ever get into building a keezer, great tip. SJ Pour, if you've never checked them out on YouTube, check them out. So there's a collar, and I'll show you more with this to do in a second, but this is not attached per se to the actual keezer. There is a 2x4 inside of this, and that this is attached to the 2x4, and then it slides down over the top. So if I ever need to take this off, I got to turn it back into a freezer, take the screws out of the back on the hinges over there, take the top off. This whole thing just lifts off. So it's just basically on there by friction. So if I ever need to turn it back into a freezer, I can do that and then just put that back on the top. So it's 2x4 with 3/4 inch cabinet grade plywood that goes down further. So I'll show you that more in a second. So I am going to go to 2 manifolds. I have a 6 keg keezer. I'm going to put 2 on either side. One in the back, one in the front. So I got my gas line, I got my worm clamps, got to switch over the swivel nuts here to 5/16. I'm going to have to tee it off because I'm actually going to run 2 lines. So that is 1 line there, but I'm going to tee it and go 1 in this side, 1 in that side, so I don't have line running all over the place. And then I'm going to swap the gauge out because it's got a nice easy change. This current one has, I gotta have a screwdriver down here, so nothing wrong with it, just kind of a pain in the butt if I'm ever looking to change it. And this one's sitting out back with my stuff. Guy got out of home brewing and didn't have a need for some of the stuff anymore. I ended up buying it off of him, so I had an extra one, so I thought I'd just swap it out while I'm doing this. Plus it's got the 5/16 barb, and that one's got a 1/4 inch barb, so less I have to change over. So, all right, let me take the stuff off the top of this, and I'll open it up and show you what I got on the inside. All right, so this is what I have. This is a manifold I built myself. I got the lines, so the beverage lines I pulled out, so you guys can see what I've got here. So this is the incoming gas going in, and that gives me 6 different lines coming off for CO2, and then I've got them color coded so I know what I've got and what it's going to. I've got them color coded on both ends, so you'll see, green goes with green, so it makes it easier for me to be able to adjust those. The issue that I'm having is it works having it on this end. The problem though is as you look through, I've got all these extra lines kind of going through here. So what my thought process right now is I'm going to mount one here and then one basically directly underneath the camera screen where you're looking at it. But then I would have just 3 lines going there and do the identical kind of a mirror image from the other side. So I don't have these lines running all over the place. I'd only have my beverage lines that I have to worry about kind of dealing with, because it's, when you pull these things out, it does be kind of making a mess, and it's a pain in the butt kind of going through it. So then I keep my hops in here. It just kind of is my hop freezer for keeping those things there. So beyond that, I'm just trying to clean things up and get things looking a little bit better in here, a little bit easier, and hopefully not lose gas. So figure it'll be, it's less gas I have to worry, or less line I have to worry about. So I'm going to put one through here, and then I'll use that same line. This is where it comes back through, and then this is my my temperature for my ink bird that's over here on the side. So that goes down right down to the bottom, and I've got it just stuck to the, like a can of pop or something like that. So I can adjust my temperatures here. So all right, well, the only thing I do have to worry about, I got to figure out adjusting this. If I can put it up high enough that when they come out, they can make over this ridge. So the one nice thing about this is I did it with zip ties. I could just adjust this whole thing so they didn't get stuck on the ridge on that. To go back to the collar idea, so as you're looking at it, you've got a 2x4. This might be the best spot. So you got a 2x4, and then just the plywood that goes over the top. So the 2x4 is flush to the outside of the freezer, and then the plywood, as you look around the outside of it, that is probably 6 inches longer or wider when you cut it, and it's attached to that, and it goes down, and it basically slides on the outside of this. So this whole collar will slide off if I ever needed it. So then I got my hinges there. Just take the screws off the hinges. So close this, take the screws off the hinges, the whole top would come off, remove the actual collar, and then put this guy back on right on the back side where the holes are in the side. And I've got and then, take your ink bird back off, and then you're back to a freezer. So but just a cool hint, that way you don't have any glue, you don't have anything that's going to be a mess getting this thing off here if you ever wanted to swap out. So you buy a small keg freezer that you want to turn into a keezer, and then realize, I want to go to 6 or 8 kegs, and you want to swap it up, and then you still have the use of that freezer. You don't have this collar stuck on top of it. So just a tip that I'd learned from SJ, and I thought I'd pass along. I thought it was a good one when I first built this. So all right, I will get moving on here and get things started. All right, so I've got my pieces all cut. A couple things I've done so far. So I've decided, I've got a bucket of hot water right here. Put the pieces in there to soften them up. Measured out what I need. So I'm going to pre-cut the pieces here. So need about 16-inch lengths on this, about 11 in the middle. That'll be the shortest run, and then those will go out from that side. Also have come up with PVC. These are going to go behind, so it'll look like this. So that is going to create that offset off the wall. So that there's about an inch from the 2x4 to the side wall of the fridge that I don't want it to have to be, a real hard angle right here. So this is going to come down from this point. So that is going to be my blocking off the backside. So I'm going to go through and work on getting these guys on. Press them up on there. I got worm clamps here. I'll go through and put the worm clamps on and get those things set so we get those all ready to roll. I did have to flip this one over because of the way the line's going to come in. So this will give me, one on the left-hand side, and then this guy will go on the right-hand side. So that way the threaded ends here, the barbs, are on the correct side for the hosing to come in on both sides. So I'm going to go through, plug all the lines on here. I'll get these with the swivel nuts. So I did get swivel nuts with the correct end. So I did get 5/16 on here. So that way we're all set to go. The 5/16 ends will go in here together, and then we should be all set. So picked up myself a couple of new threaded ends. I had a couple that were barbed. So I'm using threaded ends so that way I can pop them off when I need to clean them up and take care of them. So that's what these are here. And these are all my barbed ends and swivel nut ends here. So should be good to go. Got a T, so I can run it off the canister, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna put some of these together, and then I'll come back and kind of show you what we got. All right, come up with an idea on getting these back on. So the problem you run into, I don't know if you've ever done this before or not, but pushing, how do you hold when you're pushing against this that it doesn't slide through? So basically you can hold on to that end, right? But then when you pull it back through, the hose doesn't get there. So I went out to my shop, I have a spike like this. I think you could probably do it with a large screwdriver or something like that. It's gotta be fairly decent size. So this is going to slide through. So something bigger than that, you know, if you've got a large Phillips head screwdriver. But the nice thing about this is it slides on top. So now when you bring this out, take your hose clamp, slide that over first. Now you've got something to actually get some grip on it with. So when you push it on there, you can push against that and get it right up to about where you want it to be. That might be just a touch too far because I want that to spin. But now pushing against that makes it, you're not just shoving on this and trying to put something in here to be able to push against the barbed end. So don't know if that will be helpful for anybody, but so far it's making my life a lot easier. Good hot water obviously also makes a world difference. So far I've got the first one set and done. This one is all set. So ready to put my threaded ends on here, get ready to roll, but so far so good. So I'll come back when we start getting ready to install. All right, so got them installed. I just have them sitting on top of the posts. They're not actually all the way in there because I don't want anything coming back on me. So got to drill the hole over here. I actually have a hole you can see right there. I got to open that up a little bit bigger. I got to drill another hole that's going to be directly through here on that side, and then bring the canister back over here and tie up the lines there. So 15 minutes, should be in much better shape. So see you in just a minute. All right, so let's see if I can get you a shot here. We are up about 10 pounds, just a touch over. That's what I typically use it at. So I got a T right there, just a little nipple off to a T. And then one line going in there, one line going in there. So then got the two lines coming in and out to those two. So it should be much easier now to be able to tell. You know, I don't have to worry about having them color coded. So I know the first one obviously goes to here, so on and so forth. So it should be much easier to be able to keep track of all this. And then just got to bring my beverage lines back in on top and reconnect. Probably clean beverage lines while I'm doing this as well, and doing some cleanup down here. So I think I'm praying we are good to go. So now at this point, I'll probably go through and kind of check my connections, maybe a little soapy water, Dawn, a little spray, and check my connections, make sure everything's good to go. So hopefully this will take care of the issue. So, all right, well, I appreciate everybody following along with the newest upgrade we got here. Hopefully the collar here saves somebody some work someday. Again, thanks SJ for that idea. And I guess I'll catch you on the next one. I gotta get another video out here with testing that a couple of videos back, the Phantasm beer, and I've got number 2 that I've got to bring in here in carbs. So hopefully that video will be out here in the next couple of weeks here. Hopefully have it up by the beginning of March. So, all right, guys, hope everybody has a great one. Sláinte.